Escoffier is back in version 6.4 Phase 2, and a lot of players are asking the same question. Is she actually worth your primogems? Because on paper, she looks amazing. She gives damage, healing, and support all in one kit. But the real question is not whether she's good. The real question is whether she is good for your account. So today, we are going to keep this simple. I'll break down what Escoffier does, why she matters in the current meta, who should pull her, who should skip, and whether she is still worth it if you already have characters like Shenha. By the end, you'll know exactly if Escoffier is a smart pull or an easy save. Let's start with the short answer. Yes, Escoffier is strong, but she is not the kind of support that fits every team in the game. She is built mainly for Freeze and Mono Cryo teams, where her cryo and hydro resistance shred, healing, and off-field damage all come together extremely well. That means if your account already plays around cryo and hydro characters, Escoffier can be a huge upgrade. But if your account is built around other reaction teams, her value drops a lot faster than a universal support would. So let's break it down properly. For anyone who wants the simple explanation, Escoffier is a 5-star cryo polearm support and sub-DPS. Her job is not just to stand there and buff. She actually does a lot at once. She provides off-field damage, healing, and cryo or hydro resistance shred, which means she can boost the team's damage while also keeping everyone alive. That is why people keep calling her a 3-in-1 type of character. Her best role is very clear: Freeze and Mono Cryo teams. In those teams, her shred becomes much stronger and her kit works at full value. But if you put her in a team with too many off-element characters, that shred gets weaker. So the most important thing to understand is this: Escoffier is not a bring-her-anywhere support. She is a specialist. And specialist supports are either amazing for your account or completely skippable depending on your roster. Now let's talk about why Escoffier is still getting so much attention in 6.4. The biggest reason is simple: Freeze teams love her. Her resistance shred helps cryo and hydro damage at the same time, and her healing is strong enough that she can often handle sustain herself. That means you can free up other slots for more damage instead of being forced to run a separate healer. That is a big deal in current team building. A lot of teams today are judged by one question: can this support make my main DPS hit harder without making the team clunky? Escoffier does exactly that inside Freeze and Mono Cryo. She gives damage, healing, and comfort in one slot. That is why she is still considered so valuable for cryo-focused accounts. And in the current 6.4 banner cycle, she is not coming alone either. She is rerunning in Phase 2 from March 17th to April 7th, 2026, which means players have a limited window to decide whether she is worth the pull. So where does Escoffier sit in the 2026 meta? She is not the kind of support that every team wants. But in the teams she does fit, she is extremely efficient. Recent guides describe her as one of the best supports for Freeze and Mono Cryo, and they even note that her strongest team right now is a Freeze team with Skirk. They also point out that while she can work outside those setups, her damage potential is lower when you stop limiting the team to cryo and hydro characters. That is the core of her meta value. If your account is cryo-focused, Escoffier feels like a premium upgrade. If your account is more general and you want a support who can go almost anywhere, then she is much harder to justify over more universal options. For example, Xilanin is a much more flexible support style because she can slot into many different elemental DPS teams. That is the kind of flexibility Escoffier does not have. Now let's get to the team question, because this is where the pull decision really starts to make sense. The strongest free setups usually want Escoffier with strong hydro and cryo partners. Farina is the most ideal hydro applicator for her teams, and also points out that Yelan and Xingqiu are good alternatives if you need another hydro character. It also notes that Shenha is the most ideal 4th slot for Skirk-focused teams, but the difference between her and other cryo or hydro supports is not massive if you just need a workable clear. If you already own Shenha, do you still need Escoffier? This is one of the biggest questions right now. The answer is yes, she can still be worth it because they do different things. Shenha is a dedicated cryo damage booster, while Escoffier gives you cryo/hydro resistance shred, healing, and off-field damage on top of that. That Shenha remains a top option in certain cryo setups, but Escoffier's full value comes from consolidating multiple roles into one slot. So if you already have Shenhe, Escoffier is not a waste. In fact, if you want the absolute best Freeze team, they can work together extremely well. But if you are asking whether Shenhe alone makes Escoffier unnecessary, the answer is no. She still adds a lot of value through healing and shred. On the other hand, if you are not interested in cryo teams at all, then this becomes a very easy skip. Because outside Freeze and Mono Cryo, her debuff weakens and her value drops sharply. Now let's talk about the future, because this is where Escoffier gets interesting. Even if the exact meta changes, her kit is still very likely to stay relevant for cryo and hydro teams because her value comes from something simple and powerful: resistance shred plus healing plus off-field damage. That is the kind of package that usually stays useful as long as cryo and hydro DPS characters keep getting released. That is an inference from her kit design and current team data, not a promise about the future. And that matters because the current meta still rewards strong, dedicated supports. If future cryo carries arrive, Escoffier will almost certainly remain one of the first supports people test with them. That is why she feels more future-friendly than a lot of niche characters. She may not work everywhere, but wherever Freeze matters, she will stay relevant. So here's the final verdict. Escoffier is not a must-pull for every account, but for the accounts that actually use her well, she is extremely strong. If you are building Freeze or Mono Cryo, especially with Skirk, Escoffier is one of the best upgrades you can make. If this video helped you decide whether to pull Escoffier or skip her, make sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments. Are you pulling Escoffier, or are you saving your primogems for someone else? Good luck on your pulls, and I'll see you in the next video.